I bought these 10 drills because they each had something awesome about them, whether it was a tactical reload, freeze, a digital display, or cool storage on board. Today, I'm gonna test them out and see if they're any good or they're really just a gimmick. All right, we're gonna start off on the lighter duty cordless screwdriver, and then we're gonna work our way up all the way to a drill that has more voltage than I've ever seen. That one's gonna be crazy. Starting off, we all have screwdrivers in our house, and you know, we're just like a caveman, just sitting there driving by hand. But wouldn't it be great if we could have a cordless screwdriver? This was the Amir cordless screwdriver. Came in at $17.99. I thought it looked pretty cool to just have a lightweight screwdriver that you don't have to crank by hand. We have a few different bit selections here with a long driver, which I definitely like. A little extension bit here, and just a little USB cable. And when I say little, I mean little. Barely even 12 inches long. Ooh, and it's got a little LED light on there as well. So I think this is cool, but let's see how it actually works on a toy from one of my kids. Now, as a dad, I am always fixing the kids' toys, and a keyboard is one of those. You see, we're missing a few keys here, but we have a ton of screws on the back, and that's what I would use a screwdriver a lot for. And probably we all have these little 6-in-1 screwdrivers. The problem with these is that they will not fit down in these holes. So when you have a deep screw, you can't get in there. So you have to end up using something like one of these, which is a old school screwdriver. But then if I'm gonna undo the screw, it takes me a minute. But that's where a cordless screwdriver can come into play, and has this nice bit that we can go. It's got a little quick lock here. And let's see how this works. And it's pulling them out like a champ. Not bad. So for a cordless screwdriver, I think I love the idea of just not having to twist your wrist off undoing 16 screws in this, especially with Christmas coming. But what I really want to know, could you do something else other than that? Could you drive a screw, if you had to, into wood? Here we go. No. I didn't think it would, but we had to try it. Honestly, I like the design. It feels good in your hand. I like the power buttons being right there. I think this works pretty good. And for 18 bucks, I think it's pretty decent. Now, the next one up was also a cordless screwdriver, but it had a unique look to it that I wanted to check out, and a cool feature, I think. So this is the Pentopsy cordless screwdriver. It came in at $26.97, which is almost 10 bucks more than the other one. So we'll see what this is about. But yeah. I mean, this one's definitely got a more sleek design, a little bit more smooth in the hand, and I like the anodized aluminum. It also looks like a little shorter, probably better for fitting into tight places. So it's got the same type of bits with it. The bit here has a flathead on one side and a Phillips on the other. And on this one, the power cable actually looks like you could connect it and not have your cordless screwdriver hanging in the air while you're charging it. Yeah, they gave you maybe an extra 4 inches, which is always you know, nice. So we've got these arrows here and the light. I actually thought that what would happen, that I would turn it and that's when it would turn, but these are actually buttons. So this is pretty much the exact same as the other one, just with a few different little ergonomic things. But let's just see how it works. Yep, this feels like about exactly the same as the other one. Let's give it the old 2x4 test. Ooh. Check that out. I mean, I think we got like at least an inch of penetration on that thing. I don't think this is necessarily gimmicky. I think it has a good use, and actually this one seems a little more powerful than the first one. But I think either of those would be great tools to have in the home. Jeez Louise. All right, now we're gonna be moving up a little bit. Now this is a drill from Dovaman. This is $29.99, and it has an awesome little storage feature on it. And Dovaman, I feel like I've heard of him before. I think he might have been a rapper back in the 90s, 2000s. Dovaman, enjoy your project.
Call me Dovaman, and I'm the Novaman. Straight out of projects, enjoy your project.
All right, so what do we have here? Check this out. This is like a rotating bit storage on the back of the drill. You even got a little window there where you can see the bit spinning. I don't know what purpose that serves, but this drill is 4 volts and it is 6 Newton meters, which equals about 53 inch-pounds. The Milwaukee 12-volt drill I use is 175 inch-pounds, so about a third as powerful as a 12-volt batteries. Can we just talk about this design scheme for a minute? I feel like this is either from IKEA or Fisher Price, like baby's first drill. And even on the drill, imploring us again to
Enjoy your project.
All right, so this is USB-C charging, which is nice. They do have a cable that comes with it, which is a nice size for once. We have a couple bit extensions here, a little small one and a longer one, which is actually, that's pretty cool. And the trigger on this guy, instead of having like a forward and reverse, this is a rocker switch with an R and an L for righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Not a fan. Ooh, and one thing I'm just realizing is that this does not have a lock. Even like those cheaper cordless screwdrivers, you know, they have that lock. This does not. But let me go ahead and grab the bit that I want. And we're gonna grab a Phillips 2. I do like that. You always have your bits with you. This is much slower. This is 200 RPM versus those electric screwdrivers are actually 280 RPM. So this is gonna be more about the torque than the speed. But it's got that same issue with trying to get down into those deeper holes, so I can't actually even get down to unscrew the rest of these. What I really want to see is how well it drives these in here, because this is, again, 6 Newton meters. This should be 3 times as powerful as those cordless screwdrivers. Now, unfortunately, this does not have Torx, so I'm gonna have to borrow, so you will not be able to drive Torx straight out of the box. Let's see how it goes. It's going. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It just made it. I wouldn't want to build a deck with this thing, but it has enough power to drive 2.5-inch screw into a 2x4. Very, very slowly. All right, the Dovaman, honestly, love the idea of the tool storage, but I'm gonna have to say this one's kind of gimmicky. I would definitely not pick this one up. All right, next up, we're moving into the digital age. That's right, this is the Kingston cordless electric screwdriver. This guy came in at a whopping $48, but I got it used like new for $36. Oh, look at that. They got some silk screening right there on the case. I always like a good case. These drills are so small and so cute. This thing feels extremely odd in my hand. I think it's the way the trigger is placed. My finger's hitting the direction button, but if I hold it down low, then my hand is falling off. But let's see here, we've got USB-C charging on the bottom, and then here's where it really is kind of cool, the back here. So we've got the battery indicator, unscrew, screw, so that's which direction you're facing, and then the torque level. So this has 6 different levels of torque from a 1/2 Newton meter to 6 Newton meters. So you do the conversion on that, but the same top end as the Dovaman. And this one is 200 RPM as well. So it seems like it's got very similar specs to the Dovaman, except it is adjustable. Oh, that's unfortunate. When you push in on the right, it will drill in, and when you push the button in on the left, it will unscrew. But the arrows show exactly the opposite. So we've got computer monitors, headphones. You can use this on all those, apparently. It does come with some bits here. 32-piece kit. That's actually a pretty decent set of bits. I love that they give you a T40. You're never gonna be using a Torx 40 with this screwdriver. Of course, non-locking at the end as well. Let's see, I'm gonna go down to torque setting 1. So the nice thing about having torque settings is that you won't strip out something like this when you're screwing it in. So let's see if it will stop when I drill it in. Ooh, that's actually kind of nice. Same issue though, obviously it can't fit into there, but let's crank this bad boy all the way up to 7. See how it does with the 2x4. Come on, baby. Come on. We made it. On the website, it said you can drive over 1,000 screws per charge. If this is any indication, we lost 1 bar out of 4. You could drive 4 screws. Under no circumstances would I recommend this drill for anything. Our next tool comes up from a brand that we all know and love, especially if you were born before 1990, and that is the Black & Decker. And what I saw about this one that I really liked, they call it the Light Driver. Not the lightsaber, the Light Driver. And it has a built-in flashlight. It also has a cool little hinging mechanism, but this one is also 3.6 volts. All right, this guy came in at $34.99. It just feels tactical. Look at this thing. Hey, freeze. You know, it's like you see a loose screw, don't move. Coming for you. But they are touting that you can just use this as a flashlight. Kind of a little weak. Let's see if they give us anything else. All right, so give us these two little measly bits in here, Phillips 2 and slotted. And we've got the adjustable drill, or if you want to use it as a stick screwdriver. So let's get this charged up and then we'll check it out. Now, I'm a sucker for cool features, and today's sponsor, Narwhal, they are pros at making cool features. They just released the new Narwhal Flow, and it's a revolutionary floor washing robot vacuum and mop. They've taken mopping to the next level with their Flow Wash mopping system. So not only will it easily vacuum up your dry mess, but it'll take care of the wet or dried up sticky spills with ease. And one of the coolest features is the edge-to-edge coverage, where the mop extends out away from the body to get tight to cabinets and baseboards. Now, the heart of the system is the track mop. It's a larger and thicker mop that continuously rotates, and it uses fresh 113-degree water to clean the mop as it works. Now, with fresh water and a rolling mop, it can easily wipe away stains in one pass, and the dirty water gets stored as fresh water comes out. And when it docks, the base quietly self-cleans with hot water, so the pads are fresh and look like new. And the base station dust bag can last up to 120 days without replacing it after collecting all the vacuuming debris. It's also smart enough to avoid all my kids' junk in the floor with twin AI obstacle avoidance with two 136-degree RGB cameras. You can check out the Narwhal Flow with the link down below in the description, and a big thank you to Narwhal for sponsoring today's video. All right, we are all charged up now, got this thing going, and this did come with two bits, which are Phillips and a slotted, and these are extended. So we're gonna go ahead and do the toy test. Again, no locking on this one either, but I can see what I'm doing. So we get the light here. Whoop, it went off on me. That was weird. What are you doing? We just charged you. All right, after checking the manual on the Black & Decker, it says this thing needs to charge for 10 hours. 10 hours to fully charge this little stick battery. That's absurd. We'll try. We're gonna stick it on the charger. It's acting really weird, but we're gonna charge it for 10 hours and see what happens. We'll come back to this later. All right, this is one of the drills I am the most excited about, and it honestly probably was the one that kicked off this whole journey of looking at unique features, and that is the Works semi-automatic driver. It's like a 6-shooter. The way they have it, we just have to jump into it. This one was $32.76. So this is a 4-volt max with a 1.5 amp hour battery with a 230 RPM speed. It doesn't give us what the torque is, but look at this thing. The handle is actually a little smaller than I like, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So let's just jump into it. This is a screw holder on the front. And you push in that little button, these little arms come back, you put the screw on there, and then it grips it. How cool is that? I mean, again, seems like a gimmick, maybe, but we're gonna find out how well it works. I don't think this is for like a bunch of fasteners. It's more for like when you're trying to hang something or put something up high above your head. That is kind of cool. I'm assuming this can come off because I don't want this on here all the time. There it goes. But the real beauty of this bad boy is right here. Semi-automatic, basically a 6-shooter magazine in here. This is 2 Phillips, 2 slots, and 2 Robertsons. And the way that you switch in between bits is you just rotate it to the one you want, and then you just rack that bad boy and you're ready to go. You need to switch, and it just retracts back. You go to your Phillips. I don't know how useful that is, but it is super fun, and I love it. Let's test this thing out. Obviously, this is not long enough, so I was trying to figure out, I mean, for these front ones it is, so let's just do this one here. Comes right out. I think we said 230 RPM, so a little slow, but if we take this back and take out the cartridge, so when you push this forward, what you can see is there's actually a little hex shaft that goes in, and this is a hex coupler. And so if we move that forward, now we can put in different bits. So you can put in bits, we can put in a spade bit, whatever. Yeah, works great. You can get right down in there into these deep holes. And that works fantastic. But what I really want to see is how it drives the screws into the wood. So we don't come with a Torx bit, but I have one I'm gonna load up. All right, so that's the cool thing is you can take out other bits. So if I didn't want to use this slotted bit, I could just push them right out. T15, just like that. Now I want to put this guy on because of course we want to hold the screw. Put this bad boy on here. Okay, there's a fault here. If the head of the screw is too big, you can't actually use this because it runs into it. But these are not quite as big of a head. Oh, that just fits. There we go. All right, we sunk it all the way, and then when it got to the countersink, it kind of gave out. So when you get down to the very end, in that last kind of 1/4 inch, it will move away so you can fully drive the screw down in there. Oh, that's kind of cool too. So if you reverse it out with that thing, it's just holding right onto the screw for you. It's not gonna fall down. All right, so this guy is only 4 volts, and I didn't mention it, but it does have a micro USB charger on the bottom, which I love. I tell you what, I am gonna definitely recommend this. And just make sure that you clear your chamber before you put this away, and never point this at anything that you don't want to screw down. All right, this tool definitely caught my eye, and it wasn't because of the features of the tool, but more of how the tool is made. This is the Black & Decker Reviva, and this is supposed to be a recycled drill. A drill made of recycled materials. A tree hugger's dream. So if you are just wanting to make sure that you can have a lower impact on the environment, they say that each drill has the same amount of recycled material as 8 16.9 ounce plastic bottles. Seems like a very small amount to me, but here it is. And we've gone now with a green and white color scheme versus the traditional Black & Decker black and orange. There's a whole line. I've never even heard of this. They're also, with the recycled nature, you get absolutely nothing in the package with this thing. You get a charger. Oh, wait. You get one of these double-sided bits that don't lock that are the absolute worst. Yes, looks like it's absolutely been used. We get a little, what is this? Oh, there's nothing in here. Okay, clearly this has been used and returned, which is already not a great sign. And then we've got a manual, which I'm just gonna go out there and say, Reviva, if you're trying to save the planet, just use the QR code. You don't have to print the manual. But here we go. We've got the manual, which basically says nothing in 5 different languages. This is a monstrosity. This is 12 volts, so apparently we go up to 550 RPM. As we've moved up into the 12 volts, this is the first with an actual chuck on it. And we do have a drill setting and then 10 torque settings. Wow, that is the loud selection. Lets you know when you're moving. If you've ever put one of these into a chuck, you know how horrible it is. Now again, I'm gonna hit Black & Decker. I'm not a fan. They have made horrible, cheap little charger with a proprietary end. This will not fit on anything else. All these other ones have, USB-C, but they've gone and made a whole new charger that you can only use with your Reviva tools. Doesn't really seem so eco-conscious to me. And guess what? When you plug it in and you put it in, nothing happens. There's no light, there's no status, there's not a single LED to be found on this entire setup. So you just leave it for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6, I don't know. I don't know because there's no way to know if this is fully charged or not. But let's test it out. Now, as we step up to the 12 volt, I don't think you're gonna be using a 12 volt any longer to open up toys, so I'm not even gonna try that because I don't want to just strip everything out. I do want to make a retraction. I actually plugged this back in again. There is an LED light. It's hidden underneath the plastic casing. Guess I just missed it earlier when we plugged it in, but I'm going to use the Torx bit in here. And again, you can't really tighten it unless you do it with 2 hands. And I would expect to easily be able to drive these screws in here because again, this is a 12 volt and it says 550 inch-pounds of torque. Not bad. This thing definitely does have power. Way more than the 4 volt. Some would say 3 times the 4 volt. There we go. Easily driving those in. So you could use this for outdoor projects, I guess. But now as we stack up, I also want to see how it actually does with drilling holes. So I'm going to take a 3/4 inch spade bit and see how it turns out. All right, here we go. That was on the struggle bus. That was on the struggle bus. Let's try to do one more just to see if this is gonna hold up. All right, I mean, it did it. It got through it. Feels slightly underpowered for a 12 volt versus, you know, my Milwaukee's or my DeWalt's, but it made it through. So I will give it that. I will give it that this does kind of work, but I hate it. Yeah, this is just not a great drill, and I don't think it actually even does a good job of being that eco-friendly. Now this next drill, I could not believe my eyes. I have been using tools for well over 25 years. I've used the rigid 18 volt. Then DeWalt, I believe, was the first one to come out with the 20 volt, the exact same actually. But I have never before seen this until I was searching and saw 21 volts. That's right, they have gone the next level. This right here is the Kinlo drill 21 volts. Is it Kinlo? Kilno, whatever. I knew I had to have this to see what that extra volt really gets me. And you can actually buy this in multiple color schemes. I went with the yellow and black, resembling another tool brand I have, but you can also get pink, orange, green, whatever your heart desires. And this, my friends, is what a manual should look like. One 8.5 by 11 photocopied piece of paper with high contrast. Oh yes, 21 volts of sheer power. I can almost feel it in my hands. And we have power share. What does this mean, power share? 2 batteries. This guy is only $29.99. Well, we don't even have the amp hours on there, excuse me. 21 volt max. I mean, who needs amp hours when you've got 21 volts? We do have a charger, which I guess that's how they charge them. We charge just like this. We just plug in straight to the battery. Again, you're 21 volts. You don't need a charger. You don't need like a wall charger. You need one of these for all that power to flow direct. This is kind of cool. We got a bunch of bits and things in here. And oh yeah, the drill. I like that it's bubble wrapped. I do like this bubble wrapped. Presentation is fantastic. Look at this. When was the last time you saw a drill with a corded strap on it? In fact, you don't have to buy this. This comes direct. If you're drilling, get a little tired, just drop it off. Do what you need to do. Pick it back up. Look at the styling on this thing. This thing looks mean. Okay, let's be real here for a minute. I am bagging on this a bit, but there are some cool features. We have a bubble level in the back. I actually love that. I wish that all tool companies had a bubble level in the back, so when you're drilling a hole, I wish it was actually like, you know, both ways, so you could tell if you're up and down or left and right. I like that. I have no idea if it's accurate or not, but I like it. I also like that it has a little bit of onboard storage for a couple bits. I like that. And we've got 1-speed, 2-speed. This thing is definitely not metal. This is definitely spray painted plastic that is peeling already. And it's a cordless drill in case you forget. And you know, the stickers are peeling off just a bit, but it is a cordless drill. But this is 21 volts, folks. Let's get these batteries on the charger and then see what this bad boy can do. All right, this is the true showdown. I charged all these up. These are fresh off the charger. We have a rigid 18 volt, our DeWalt 20 volt, and our King Sun, and the 21 volt cordless drill. And we're gonna see what they actually read on an actual voltmeter. All right, our first one. We're gonna start with the 18 volt rigid. Positive terminal and negative terminal. We are at 20.802, which is pretty darn close to 21. Yet they're only claiming 18 volts. Conspiracy? Maybe. All right, DeWalt. They claim 20 volts. Let's see what this one comes up as. 20.378. That's what I would expect. There you go, DeWalt. Now, our 21 volt. King Sun, King Rune. I need to get these actual names because I want to give them the credit where credit's due. First people to ever invent a 21 volt battery. I don't know. My PC's just waking up. Here we go. True test. 20.843. Ladies and gentlemen, I call that 21 max. I call that 21 volts. These people are not lying. Now we got to put it to the test. So I'm going to chuck it up though. And not the best chuck I've ever used. Probably more closer to the worst chuck I've used. This is just gonna fall right out. I don't even think that's what this is meant for. So they did not provide us with that. I'm gonna have to borrow a bit holder from another drill. But they do have a Torx bit. I'm not sure what they expected you to put it in, but we got one. Now let's see, we're on number 25. I'm putting it on speed 2. Here we go. Hey, hey. I mean, that felt pretty good, quite frankly. I told you, 21 volts. Maybe weight doesn't matter. Just for giggles, why don't we go ahead and try this with the lookalike. I mean, I can't believe that DeWalt actually copied the color scheme from Kelno. So here's our DeWalt 20 volt. Golly, that must not be an actual Torx size bit. That's like Torx adjacent. I think the DeWalt definitely went a bit faster there. Even though we are 21 volts, the power is not coming through. I think no matter how much voltage you have, when you got junky machinery and mechanics inside, it's not gonna translate. All right, the Kelno, I gotta say, it is better than I thought it would be. For 30 bucks, yeah, this is probably worth it versus paying 150 bucks for one of these. But really, you wanna pay 150 bucks for one of these is what I'd say. All right, next up, I found one that I thought was just genius because I've never seen anybody put a tool in a battery combo like this one, and this is the Lefeli, the U20 Handy Plus. This is a 20 volt drill driver. Pull this bad boy out. This is the part I am really excited about. Oh boy. Woo! Boy, that's got some junk in the trunk right there. First impressions, we have a metal chuck, which is fantastic. Everything looks very well finished. And it does come with a little kit of drill bits, but this is what I'm most excited about right inside here. Oh, look at that. We've got the rated cable, USB-C to USB-C. That should be an indicator right there of what we're about to experience. And here we go. This is the battery. This is a 10,000 milliamp, basically portable battery, like that you would travel with, that I charge my phone and my laptop, whatever. And so if I plug this guy in and I plug in my phone, turn it on. Oh, don't do me like this. I'm gonna take a quick peek at the manual because that should work. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna be so sad. All right, I ran inside and I grabbed a known good power charger. First of all, we're gonna check the cable they gave us. Aha. So I got another USB-C cable here. There we go. I think it's a cable issue. Let's go back over here. We're gonna use a different cable. And now we're gonna push our button. There we go. Unfortunately, the cable they give you is defective. That really sucks, but whatever. This is still awesome. This definitely works for charging. And by the way, while you're here charging your phone, maybe go get subscribed. We'd love to have you. So now the true test, obviously this works as a battery backup, but this is a tool battery. So, and that works nicely. Again, this is pretty chunky, but let's test it out, see how it does. All right, I do have high hopes for this one, and it's always interesting to see what bits these come with. This one has a slotted 2 Phillips and 2 posi drives, and it's the first one that's had posi drives, but no Torx. So I do need to borrow the Torx bit again, and this guy, by far, best feel as of yet. It just tightens right up. I don't have to do it with 2 hands. Let's take this bad boy up to 21, and I think this is just gonna zap these. This thing is great. I think it said it had 435 inch-pounds of force, you know, what you would expect out of a 20 volt drill, and it seems like it performs. Let's check out how it does with the spade bit though. Ooh. I think what's happening is it's stopping because of kickback detection. Yeah, so that's not the battery dying, that is a actual feature, so it doesn't do that, which is great. That is a high quality feature. I'm gonna go a little bit slower, see if it won't kick back on me this time. It usually happens right there at the end. That worked great. The Lefeli, it definitely performs. It is a 20 volt drill that works nicely, and the kickback detection is awesome. Metal chuck, I'm very impressed. And if you just bought a 10,000 milliamp power bank, that's gonna be 20 bucks alone, and you get that plus the drill for under 50 bucks. I think it's a good deal. I think this is a great option. I would absolutely 100% recommend this over the Kelno. I would say hell no to the Kelno. Let's just get rid of that one. Go with this one if you're gonna spend 50 bucks on a drill, and you'll have the power bank. All right, it has actually been overnight, and we've got the Black & Decker back out. And it is doing super weird things. Sometimes it goes okay, and then a lot of times it's like pulsing. I think this is just dead on arrival. It won't even take the screws out of the back of the piano. So unfortunately, this was kind of cool with the light and everything, but this one is dead on arrival, so definitely can't recommend it. All right, this next one up, this is like the final boss of gimmicky drills. This actually comes from a brand that is reputable, Skill. It's 20 volt, and it combines several of the other features of the other drills. And this is the Skill flip drill. And you guys know I love a good flip tool. Shout out to the flip top tool cart. Look at this thing. Oh man, I am excited. This guy comes in at $109. We've got our 20 amp battery, which, by the way, has USB on it. So you could actually use this the same way as the Lithelli. And the idea is you can have two bits chucked up here, a drill bit and then a driving bit. So you can pre-drill, sling this bad boy around, and drive your bit. And oh, I like that too. If that's magnetic, that's super cool. Let's see what else we have here. We have a couple drill bits with it. And we do have a 20-watt wall charger with braided cable. This must be the wave of the future. This thing is just like, I mean, this is like futuristic. I kind of like it. We also have digital readout here for the torque settings, 1 through 9. So we don't have a chuck, obviously, because we have these little quick locks. Let's put this bad boy to the test. I've seen this thing forever. I've always wanted to use it. Oh, and we have the speed down here. All right, so I'm gonna get this thing chucked up with a few different bits, but they give you two 1/8 inch drill bits and two 3/32 inch drill bits. That's not great. And then the only other one they have is a Phillips 2. So very few things. And these guys look super, super cheap. It looks like kind of like pot metal. We'll see how it goes. And for the torques, I'm gonna use one of these bit holders just because they didn't give us one. All right, so let's test it out first off. I've got it on number 9, speed 2, so this should be all the beans. Feels good, sounds good. The beauty is, if we could switch that around and drill it and make that even easier. Flip this bad boy around. I like that. I like it a lot. I'm a bit worried about how long this is gonna last. I'm trying to think of like how the gear and the torquing and everything works, because that's really pretty cool, but I like that. Let's see how it works with a spade bit though. Now, if you do have something long like this, I assume, if you try to rotate it, it's just gonna knock in there. So you obviously can't just store a big bit like that, but you can use it. I'm gonna change it to drilling mode, and let's see how this guy works. I couldn't tell if that was the kickback or if it was just overloading. Yeah, I think that was kickback. That worked great. I tell you what, I like this thing. If you're already invested in the Skill Tool family, I would definitely grab this. If you're not, maybe not so much. At 109 bucks, I wouldn't want to buy this and just have this be my only Skill Tool. But I do like it. Let me know down in the comments if you've got some cool tools I should check out. If you want to see another video, I got one queued up for you right there. I'm Brad. Until next time, get out there and build something awesome. All right. I believe that'd be a wrap.